Hello everyone, welcome to this new special on Lapetina Presents. Today I'm delighted to introduce Amber Doig-Thorne. She's an actress, presenter, digital producer, and worldwide known for her role in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. All right. Pues thank you so much, Amber, for being on my show. This is an honor. You make this dream real. What can I say? It's gonna be a lot of things to talk because you're very multi-diverse, artistic person. And I'm pretty sure those people who are watching us will be learning a lot from you and feel inspired a lot from you. So thank you so much. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me onto this. And you're so kind. Honestly, everything you're saying is so sweet. But no, I'm really excited to talk to you. I know you've spoken to some of the filmmakers, which I'm a fan of myself, like Howard Ford, and you interviewed Natasha Mills, who's one of my close friends. So it's really nice to be able to sit down and talk to you as well.
Oh, thank you so much. But this is the home we call the home for the independent artists and also the community. Everybody is the purpose for the human connections, who's watching who, and then to share their work and things like that. And what can I say? Having this interview with you, Amber, you give me a lot of inspiration because I was just reading and following your career. It is impressive that you do great with you do a fantastic in every aspect. You put your feet on it. For example, as a
I try.
host, yeah, no, a lot of things to discuss, but I see as a presenter, as an actress, producer, digital creator, and even seeing your photos and you walk in the red carpets and represent even yourself is you bring a lot of admiration. You shine a lot of light in your and the first thing I took to myself, and she's the model for me to follow. I need to follow as what she does. It's pretty not like an actress because I don't see myself as an actress, but as a presenter, yes.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I think it's really cool being able to do lots of different things. Ever since I was a child, I've always known that I wanted to be an actor. That's my main passion. I'm happiest when I'm on a film set. But there's so many things that I'm passionate about. Just like you said, I love presenting. I love doing celebrity interviews. I love creating content, writing, producing comedy sketches, producing. There's just so many things that I like to do. And I love that I've got to a point in my career where I feel like I'm really comfortable with kind of the path that I'm taking in all of these different areas. So it's really nice, and they're all creative at the end of the day, which is really nice. So I feel like they all kind of go nicely hand in hand with each other.
That's good, fantastic. And let's start with the Winnie the Pooh because it's a blockbuster right now. Okay, I'm from Mexico.
Crazy.
I'm from Mexico. I'm a Mexican, but I live in Texas and also in North Mexico. It was a blockbuster. You can saw how the Mexican culture is very attached to the artists. How people are wearing, the Winnie the Pooh custom, the cosplay, Winnie the Pooh, and make drawings, and you can just all these things. But how you feeling about the audience when you were in the premiere and all the party in Mexico? Can you tell us how you feel about that?
Yeah, so it was so amazing. I've always wanted to go to Mexico, but I haven't had the opportunity so far. So when I found out that we were having the world premiere for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey in Mexico City, I was so excited. Just because, it's the world premiere. It's the first time that any of the cast had seen the film. And the fact that it's in Mexico, I'd already heard from other actor friends that the Mexican audience is so supportive and so loving and embracing, especially of horror films. So I was really excited to see how it was received. And as soon as we stepped into the cinema for the premiere, I was blown away. Like, I go to premieres all the time. because of the social media work that I do. But this is one of the first times that I've been to a premiere of a film that I'm actually in. And like the set design was beautiful, the way that they designed the red carpet and the backdrops. And there were people there dressed as Winnie the Pooh that we were taking photos with. Some of the fans were dressed as Pooh and Piglet. And it was amazing. There were just so many people asking for photos and videos and having questions about the film. And honestly, like it just warmed my heart. It was the nicest feeling. I think I expected people to like the film, but I didn't expect to have such an amazing reaction. And I am so grateful that we got to experience the world premiere in Mexico, because I think the Mexican audience was just perfect for this film. And to be the first group of people in the world to see it, honestly, it was like a dream come true for me. I had an amazing time.
And just be prepared that it's true. We Mexican people, my people, we love so much the horror scary movies. For some reason, we are very fun.
Yeah, I love horror movies as well.
We have a teenager's heart, because no matter what age, I can tell, for example, my brother, he's almost 50 and I'm 42. We have a teenager heart. And, you know, it's normally horror and scary movies are more, for some reason, it's more for teenagers. And,
Yeah, exactly.
and it's, you know what, it reminds me, that event when, to be honest with you, I have for a while, now I see it in Mexico, and see Mexico City. Yes, let's speak about Mexico City in general, all Mexico. I didn't see so much enthusiasm. I would say for a decade or decade and a half.
Mhm.
And this event reminds me, when I saw the news, the people reaction, and the social media, reminds me like that feeling from the 80s. In the
Yeah,
80s, I
exactly.
was born in 1981, and I have a full memory. It happens in the 80s, and how the people, they get attached to Freddy Krueger, they get attached with,
Yeah,
you know, Jason and all these things.
exactly.
Yes, yes, yes. It was the same feeling, and
Yeah.
it was beautiful to see Cinemax put the glass with the image of Winnie the Pooh and the souvenirs and all these things. How you feeling to see that piece of you as a part of the cast?
Oh, it
And
was so
yes.
exciting. Yeah, sorry, it was so exciting because this film was made for such a low budget. It was made for about £30,000. And it's taken in like $7 million in the box office, which is crazy. But because it was such low budget, I don't think any of us really expected for it to have this level of interest and this level of publicity. So, like I said, you know, when we heard that it was going to be in cinemas, I was blown away. Like, I was really overwhelmed in the best possible way, and I was so excited. And then we found out, you know, world premiere in Mexico, European premiere in Amsterdam. There was so many different countries, like we're pretty much in cinemas worldwide. And it still didn't quite hit me just how big this film has gone until I got to Mexico. And the day before the premiere, I flew into Mexico City and I went to the cinema just because I wanted to see what the cinema looked like ahead of the premiere. And there were posters everywhere for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And like you said, the cups that you buy at the cinema when you get your drink before you go in, they were all branded with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and Pooh was on the front. And I just thought, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Like, I think as an actor, everyone hopes that one day you'll have a film that, you know, does really, really well and ends up in the cinema and you have merchandise. But I just didn't think that would happen for me so soon. So I feel like so grateful. It's just the best feeling in the world. And like I said, you know, seeing people's reactions is amazing. But the fact that like our little film has gone worldwide and you can now buy merchandise, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
And absolutely that fans, they will be following each one of the casts, and I'm pretty sure they are following you and keep you
Yeah.
as the top list of their top favorite actors, and they will be looking forward to see more films of you. Just be prepared,
I hope
because
so.
they are very loyal. We are very loyal, and no. So I watched the film in McAllen, Texas. I took my
Oh,
mom.
did you? Okay.
Yes. I watched the film. Fantastic. From the beginning to the end. Yeah, I was engaged too much in the film, and I still remember the image that they put the knife or like something in your house.
I know, that was like the hardest scene for me to watch because all of the deaths had CGI apart from mine, and that was all just practical effects. And I just remember having to like stand there for so long with this massive knife in my mouth. And obviously that was physically very uncomfortable because it was quite far back. And yeah, even watching it still makes me, every time I watch it, I go, ooh, ooh.
Yes,
Just because it
yes.
looks so real, you know. It's but yeah, I think some of my favorite scenes to film, I think, was where I kind of had that standoff with Piglet and also my death scene. I really enjoyed those two.
Yes, no, fantastic idea of Reed Frake. Was fantastic come up with the original because it was something, everybody, they have the memory of the classic Winnie the Pooh, the tender, the lovely, and then he turned into the totally the opposite. And there was, what is another thing was fantastic? Reading some people expression, you ruined my childhood, that was funny.
Oh my goodness. I see these comments all the time. No one said that to me. I think they just say it to the director and the producer. But at the end
Mhm.
of the day, like, I grew up with Winnie the Pooh and I love Winnie the Pooh. I had the toys, I had the games, I watched all the films, I had the books. Like, Winnie the Pooh was so special to me. And I really appreciated Winnie the Pooh when I was younger, but I never thought I'd get to appreciate the character again as an adult. And I love horror films. So for me, when I saw the concept for Blood and Honey, I was so excited because it was putting together two things that I love, horror films
Mhm.
and Winnie the Pooh. And like I said, I was a big fan of Winnie the Pooh growing up. So I only felt like pure excitement to see
Mhm.
like where we could take the story. You know, it's like redefining this childhood character for an adult audience, which I thought was really cool. So when people are saying, it's ruining their childhood, I don't personally understand that, because if Winnie the Pooh is so precious to you, then don't watch the film. And I've said this to people, like if you don't want Winnie the Pooh to be ruined, just don't watch the film. It's literally
I
that
agree.
simple. But I think it's a lot of people saying that are people who don't like horror films in general. That's what I found, which is fair enough, because if you don't like horror films and then your favorite character's turned into a horror film, obviously I totally get that. But like I said, the response that we've had has been amazing. And I think most of the people going to see it are people who are either fans of horror films or of Winnie the Pooh, and they've been really excited to see how we've like merged those two together.
It's true. I agree with you 100%. Like me, I'm the same as you. I like Oro and I like, the classical Disney characters. And to me, I enjoy even to see the opposite, the lovely, kind, tender, and then the killer. I enjoy both. But I think it's part of the journey to receive those kind of comments because that makes more interesting to watch the film. So you can
Exactly.
see
And
it on
this
the
is what I've
positive
been
side.
saying all along. Honestly, people say like any publicity is good publicity. And like some of the other cast members were kind of complaining about the negativity. And I was like, well, at the end of the day, we wouldn't be where we are right now, having a worldwide cinematic release. That wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the people saying, you ruined my childhood, because all of those like haters, I don't know if that's the correct term, but all of the haters and the people who are like saying, oh no, you shouldn't have made this film. It was all of those comments that made the film so viral and made so much interest around the film. So it was those comments that kind of got us into the cinemas. So I think I'm personally very grateful, whether people want to watch it or
Exactly.
not, because exactly, because those comments, like, they got us where we are today. And at the end of the day, film is subjective. Like, it's very rare that you'll put a group of people in a room and they'll all like the same film. Everyone has different tastes, everyone has different interests, and that's totally fine. And I've
Mm-hmm.
personally really enjoyed watching reviews of the film. Some people enjoyed it, some people didn't. But as an actor and an artist, I love to see what people think, because it shows you what you did well, what you can work on, and how you can like improve for your next role as well, which I always love constructive criticism. So it's always interesting to see what people say.
Yes, another thing I would like to share that when I attended McAllen, Texas, most of the audience were adults, people from the 80s, people who raised in the 80s or grew up in the 80s, and they were like a child. Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. It's getting touching the
Oh,
TV. No, no, it's true. It's like that film turned us out like a child, like, I Winnie the Pooh, I want to see Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. And I told Mama, are you watching what I'm watching? He said, yes, I see the same thing like you. It's a fast, a lot of stars to all of you, and especially to the director come up with this idea. And they go, fantastic. Looking forward to, hopefully he can make the sequel and make more films like that because I love so much. Yes,
yeah. So
yes.
I think they're filming the sequel in like October. I think they're filming it this year, so it should be out in a couple of years, maybe next year. Who knows?
I hopefully. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be people, waiting for the day to be able to watch the film, and I'm pretty sure that Mexico is gonna be the top of the top. Not because my country, but it is how we are. Just to be the first ones.
I hope so. And I hope they do the world premiere in Mexico again. I feel like that should be a tradition now.
Yes, please, please. No, and don't forget, go to Monterrey. Monterrey is another big city of Mexico. And Monterrey also is a good place, for publicity and things like that. That would be awesome. That's what I'm from, Monterrey. So just let me know, and we can make something over there. Will be fantastic.
Amazing. We'll make it happen.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But I recently interviewed Natasha Rose Mills, and fantastic friend of mine. I love her so much, and I love to see her acting like in the film, and also interview Seb Cox. He was the animator, and
yeah, he's
looking forward.
Oh my God, his animations were amazing.
Yes, exactly. So I have three people from the Winnie the Pooh family, so that's good. Fantastic, fantastic. So it was a U.S. premiere, Europe and Amsterdam, and how you feeling besides Mexico about the reaction in United States? Because I heard that it was the top one and selling the more top selling movie theater I saw in the newspapers, because this film was mentioned in every platform, CNN, in New York Times, in Mexico, Multimedios, Televisa, TV Azteca, no, I'm speaking about the main press labels, and everywhere you type Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is there, even your name. Yeah, but I told your name, Amber Doig is yes. So how you feel?
Yeah, sorry. So no, it's been amazing. So my mum, I live in London and my parents live in the north of England, in North Yorkshire. My mum came down this morning to visit me for the weekend. And she said even this morning, she went on her phone, just onto Google, just Google News. And right at the top was Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And she was like, I can't get away from you. You're everywhere. And it's crazy, like when they released the first stills of the film and the trailers, like you said, some of the biggest publications in the world were writing articles about this film, publications that I've grown up reading since I was a child, that my parents have read, like just like you said, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, New York Times. Like, I did an interview with the New York Times, like Excelsior, Mexico. They interviewed me when I was in Mexico, and that was amazing. And yeah, it's just kind of mind-blowing that there's so much interest around the film, but it makes complete sense to me, because like what the director did with this film was so clever, because obviously this film came around because the characters from A.A. Milne's original book about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Winnie the Pooh, came out, and everything went into the public domain last January. So then we were pretty much the first people in the world to take those Winnie the Pooh characters and put them in a film. And the fact it's a horror film as well, you've got the crossover of, there's this character that's never been taken out of its Winnie the Pooh area before, and now it's been put into a horror film. So like I said before, it's those two audiences coming together, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's done so well. But yeah, I just honestly, I still have to like pinch myself, because it's crazy even now when I think it's just over a month since the film came out in cinemas in the United Kingdom, and it's still in the press everywhere, like everyone's still talking about it. I have people that I went to school with messaging me saying, we just saw this film and saw that you were in it. That's really cool. And it's out on Amazon Prime Video, and it's trending on there. So it doesn't seem to be slowing down. People just seem to be really enjoying it, which is like the nicest feeling to know.
Just wait for Halloween. Ooh, it's gonna be wearing
oh my goodness,
wearing your I'm pretty sure, I have the feeling that it's gonna be wearing your costume that you use, the cloth that you use to to represent your role in Halloween. I think it will be super fun. I know that fall in love with the role and your work, and I'm pretty sure that will be happening. And last day I told Natasha, I have a feeling they're gonna wearing your jacket. I have a feeling your jacket that you wear. He said, what do you think about that? I don't know. I have the feeling.
Yeah, it's so weird, isn't it? Because so like last year for Halloween, I dressed up as Velma from Scooby-Doo. And I was thinking about this recently, because someone said, what if they made your costumes like a Halloween costume? And I was like, oh, that's really weird. But then again, like I dressed up as a costume from a film last year, from Scooby-Doo. So I was like, that makes complete sense. And the thing is, I still have my costume from the film because we all had to provide our own costumes. So it was clothes I already owned. So I'm really tempted to wear those clothes again for Halloween and just cover myself in blood and like ask one of my friends to dress up as Winnie the Pooh. And then hopefully people will be like, ah, it's Alice.
That will be awesome. Yes, yes,
It'll be
yes,
so
yes.
cool.
That will be awesome. That will be awesome. Also, I recently watched the cover from John Oliver. He about the Winnie the Pooh. That was good. Congratulations for that. And like you
Yes.
say, mentioned, yes, yes. And how you feeling about the premiere in Glasgow Fright Fest? How you feeling about
Yeah,
that?
so I was so excited. So I'm part Scottish. I have Scottish heritage. So I was really excited to be able to kind of go back and explore my roots. And Glaswegian people have the best sense of humor. So I was really excited to watch it with a huge crowd of Glaswegians, and they were laughing at all of the right moments. When I was laughing, they were laughing. Oh my goodness, they loved it. And then after the film, I stuck around for about an hour. Just to talk to people and take photos and sign autographs and stuff. And yeah, it was, see, it's weird because each country, the audience reacts differently. So I'd say the Mexican audience was so like enthusiastic and so like hardcore loving the film. But in Glasgow, it's the same, but kind of different because they more appreciated like the comedy side rather than the horror side. So it's just been interesting. Every country that we go to, people seem to appreciate and really enjoy different areas of the film, whether it's the horror, the comedy, or the fact that the film itself, to me, is very similar to a lot of the 80s slasher films that I grew up watching, like Halloween and Friday the 13th. So I think there's people who enjoy different things that are going to see the film, and they kind of take different things away from watching the film. But the Glaswegian audience was amazing, and it was my first time at Fright Fest, so that was really good fun. I had a lovely time.
That's good. I saw the pictures and images. Yes, all of you happy.
Yes.
Yeah, and also the Prince Charles Cinema. I remember
Yes.
was
Oh my
making a
goodness,
lot
that
of.
was amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we got to like do an introduction before the film when it was at Prince Charles, which is so nice because I live in central London and that's one of my local cinemas. So I go there to watch films anyway. So the fact that a film that I'm in is playing there, to me, is really, really special. And they asked me to come and do a Q&A and answer a few questions before the film. And yeah, it was just really nice. And I think being able to see it in a cinema, which you've been to so many times before, to me, it's something that I will remember for the rest of my life. It's such a special experience.
That's good. But you have a proximity because for now I have more than 55 as an actor's role in films, and you also were a writer and producer. And also another horror film that I watched, I liked so much was The Return of Krampus with
Yes,
Natasha
so Natasha was in
Rothwell.
that as well.
Yes, with
Yeah.
director David Grossgary. Yes. Can you tell us more about how you feel about that movie? You fantastic. I watch it in Amazon and people recommend it. Please watch in Amazon. You can find it, and it's a very good movie. Can you tell us?
Thank you. So I had so much fun shooting that film. That was the first film that I did with Jagged Edge Productions, who did Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and it was actually my role in Krampus. They cast me in that film, and then I applied to play Alice in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and I didn't actually have to audition because they cast me in Krampus, so they'd seen me work, and they were like, "Yes, you're perfect for this role." And what I like about Krampus is that the character that I played was very different to my character in Blood and Honey, because in Krampus, I feel like I'm quite a sassy character, and I'm kind of, so if you've seen the film, then you'll know the story. But Ross, kind of the lead male, he's in a relationship with Natasha's character, and I'm kind of the piece on the side, and I'm also friends with Natasha's character, but then I'm kind of having an affair with her boyfriend husband. So there's a lot going on. So my character in that film isn't exactly the nicest. Whereas in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, I play Alice, and I think she has a heart of gold. And yeah, it's really interesting to play like two completely different characters, but I loved the experience on Return of Krampus as well. Some of the girls that I met on that film, they're like my best friends now. We still stay in contact and see each other all the time, which is really nice.
Fantastic, fantastic. And also, I recently interviewed filmmaker Michael Fausti, and about
yes, Michael's amazing.
we talk about you, but we in a good sense, because he says the burn flowers, and I told him looking forward 2014, looking forward for that one, and of 2013, 2013, yeah, no, 2014. You know, wait,
2024.
I'm still thinking I'm at
Yeah.
22. I'm sorry, big, I'm big fan of my year.
I lost
Yes.
track after COVID. I lost track of the years. I don't know
I
where
feel
I
the
am
same.
anymore. I don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly, I feel the same. Yeah, about the video shop tales of terror, loss and revenge.
Yeah.
You'll also be cast in this segment and this ¿cómo se llama? Anthology. And then
Yes.
we talk about the segment of Bergesen, and then he come up and told me, he mentioned, hey, Amber, yes, I'm looking forward to interview her pretty soon. I know she's super busy. Digo yo, but if she give me a moment, she's gonna make my world. You make my world right now. And he says, yes, I'm looking forward for the film for Burning Flowers. Well, okay, I know maybe you cannot talk too much, but how you feeling about that working with him?
Yeah, so Michael is amazing. I really enjoyed working with him and Lou, his wife, who also produced the film. And Burnt Flowers was a really, really special one. It's like a 90s crime drama, psychological thriller. You watch the film and you don't really know what's real and kind of what's in someone's imagination. And I played the lead character, Detective Frank Alban, and she lost her mum at a very young age, and she's gone into the police force. And because it's set in the 90s, it's a very sexist workplace, and all of her colleagues are male. And she is in an LGBTQ relationship, which I love because so is Alice in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And I think representation on screen is so important. So when I have the opportunity to play these characters who are in queer relationships, it makes me so excited because I feel like authentic representation of LGBT relationships is so hard to come across, especially in low budget independent films. So I'm a big champion for that. And yet Frank was a really interesting character to play. She's like an onion. She has so many layers. And I just really enjoyed the whole filming process. The cast were fantastic. Michael was a really wonderful director. He was so collaborative and he's so passionate about the films that he makes. I really hope that I get to work with him again because he was just a pleasure.
Yes.
But yeah, I've seen some stills of the film. I've seen their other film. So one of their previous films, Exit, I watched and I really liked it. And I'm very, very excited for this to come out. So I haven't seen the film yet. I think they're still in the editing process. But I have a feeling it's going to be a good one. And it's one of those films where it's going to have you on the edge of your seat, constantly thinking, wait, did this happen? And the twists and turns, and you don't really know what's happening next. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy it when you watch it, and I'm really excited. And yeah, like I said, Michael's lovely.
Definitely, I watch Exit and
Mhm.
Death Celebrities,
Yeah.
the short film, both of them, but especially the Exit. My husband and I, I understand this. No, I understand that. I think it's going next.
Yeah.
Keep you that,
Exactly.
mysterious, to keep you, and somehow the audience keep you like you're part of the film, like try to navigate to what that means, what is the meaning behind of this and behind of that. Yes, he's a mysterious film director. I will call him the mysterious. That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, he is in the best possible way. And I feel like that's something that's really difficult to do, keeping the audience on their toes and not letting them know what's next, because so many films that I watch, I find them really predictable and I can always predict what's going to happen. Like I have some friends who refuse to go to the cinema with me because halfway through the film, I'll just predict the ending. So it's lovely to work with someone like Michael Fausti because, like you say, he's very mysterious and he has this amazing way of writing and directing films where you never know what's going to happen. And I love that as an actor because even with this film, when I read the script, I asked him so many questions and I said, is this in my character's mind? Is this real? Is it a dream? And he just said, I'm not telling you.
Wow.
You figure out what you want it to be. So to this day, I don't know how it was supposed to be. I just know how I interpreted it. But I feel like that gives you so much freedom as an actor. And yeah, it was just such a great process. I loved it.
Yes, I was feel very honored to do interview with him and call her friend. And I called you friend. It's like he says, it's a community. It's a community. We help each other, connect each other, help
like
each other.
Family.
Yes, yeah, little family,
Yeah.
exactly. And what a wonderful person he is. And I told him, looking forward to do a follow up, and especially for that film and what's happened next. And he was, oh yes, we will be definitely more interviews. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And there's another film called to my attention a lot. Is The House of the Zombies Built. I like zombies films. Yes, directed by Jason Wright.
Zombie films.
Yes, and you are leading role. as Alicia. Can you tell
So
us?
the house that zombies built, I'm kind of a smaller role in that one. So I play like a reporter, a presenter. It's the next film that I'm doing with them where I play one of the lead roles. So the next film that I'm doing is called Zombikini, and it's a horror comedy. Of course it is, with a name like that it has to be. And again, Jason Wright, such a great director. I've worked with him a couple of times before, and I'm working with him on his next few films, and everything that he makes I love horror, I love comedy, and I feel like finding horror comedy scripts that are genuinely funny is so difficult, but he's a really funny guy and his scripts always crack me up. They always make me laugh, you know. And working with himself and Kirsty, who's his wife and also works on the film as a producer, and some other aspects, they're both so nice to work with. So yeah, the house that zombies built, that was really, really good fun. So I had some awesome scenes with this zombie, and the role that I was playing was kind of a presenter in this TV advertisement, and I was trying to like sell these zombie apocalyptic like kitchenware products, which is just the silliest thing in the world. But we had so much fun filming, and they let me do a lot of improv as well, a lot of improvisation, which, because I have a lot of background in comedy, I love it when people give me the chance to do that. And yeah, with Zombikini, I'm really excited. Again, we're going to be filming it, I think, this summer, possibly in Cornwall, because it is zombies and bikinis, so we're going to be on a beach. But yeah, this one I'm very excited for. I think this could have like cult classic status because it is so funny.
That's good. Looking forward for that one, definitely. And also Alien Invasion. It's on post-production. I love aliens. It's one of my favorite topics.
Yeah.
What
okay,
about
so
that
do you
one?
like the like Alien versus Predator films?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I've always been obsessed with like the Alien films, and I saw the script for this one, and I've done sci-fi short films, and I had a small role in a sci-fi feature film called Override, which was really, really, really good fun. And this was an opportunity to play one of the lead roles, and I thought, oh yes, love this. And it's, I'd say 90% practical effects. There's a little bit of CGI, but it was probably one of my favorite ever filming experiences, just because the location that we filmed in was phenomenal. Again, some of the actors that I met, you know, are now really, really close friends, and the script was great. And the cast, some of the cast were just so talented. And I love being able to work with people who I feel like, you know, you can learn so much from them. And it's kind of like a teaching moment in a weird way. So yeah, Alien Invasion is a super fun one. It's like a sci-fi thriller horror with little bits of comedy in there. But it felt like one of those movies that it's kind of like what you were saying earlier, that a lot of horrors are made like for teenagers. It felt like a very stereotypical, like how the Americans do it so well, and they have those like teen dramas aimed at teenagers, and this is exactly what that one felt like.
That's good. That's good. Now, as an actor, presenter, there's another episode of your career. You're a presenter for Lionsgate, Prime Video, Sign World, National Lottery, Real D3D, Bitcom, for Music TV, and more. I just mentioned a few. You have been traveling around the world to interview top production companies and top Hollywood actors. Before continue, put the list. How you came up with what inspired you to be a presenter? Because you interview just mention a few people, because you've been speaking with so many people: Emily Blunt, Henry Cavill, Simon Pegg, John Krasinski, Rebecca Ford Johnson, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, and the U.S. former Vice President Al Gore, just to mention a few. But how you start? How was your beginning steps? Because I want to learn from you. How you start?
Okay, I will try and teach.
Yes,
you're doing a great job though. I love your interviews. Your interviews are so great.
Oh, thank you so much.
And that's what I love.
Oh,
so hopefully, who knows? Maybe in a year's time, I can interview you, and you'll be interviewing the big Hollywood stars. Who knows?
Yes. You are my mentor. You are my mentor.
I would love to be your mentor, Angela. Let's make it happen.
Yes.
So I got started in presenting. I've always had, I'm quite a bubbly person, and I've always had one of those personalities where you can kind of throw me into any situation and I can just talk for days. I'm a waffler. Everyone says this, you waffle, you talk too much. And I realized very quickly when I was at university, I thought, oh, I could probably be a presenter. Like I had to do a few like public speaking things and a few events where I was asked to talk, and I thought, oh, this is quite fun. And I've always enjoyed presenting. I've always enjoyed watching people present. And I think the first time when I thought, oh, I might like to be a presenter was actually when I watched Scream for the first time. And Courtney Cox's character, called Gail Weathers, she is a reporter, a presenter as such. And I remember watching that role, and I'd seen Courtney Cox in Friends before. So I'd seen her do comedy, I'd seen her do drama, and all of a sudden she's playing this reporter. And I thought, oh, I'd quite like to play a reporter, but I think I'd actually like to do that in real life. I think I'd like to be a presenter as well. And it was one of those things that was in the back of my mind. And I thought, if it happens, great, I'm not going to force it. And it was really interesting because like my first celebrity interview, it just kind of came out of the blue. It was a complete surprise. So I'd started like writing and producing my own comedy sketches online. And by this time, I'd probably had about 1 million combined followers online. So now I have 3 million combined social media followers, but this was a few years ago. And I remember one day I checked my emails, and I had an email from Warner Brothers, the Warner Brothers, saying, "Hi Amber, we've seen your comedy videos. We know that you love film. Would you like to interview Nina Dobrev? She was in Vampire Diaries, which I grew up watching that show. I'm thinking, you don't need to introduce her. I know who she is. Like, I love Nina Dobrev." And it was for a new film that she was doing. And I remember I read the email and I kind of closed my laptop because I thought, this is spam. This isn't real. Why would Warner Brothers want me to interview Nina Dobrev? And I left it. And then I came back the next day and they'd sent a follow-up email. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is real. And that's kind of how it started. And Nina was such a pleasure to talk to. And I told her it was, my first time interviewing, and she was such a sweetheart. And as soon as I finished that interview, I just knew that I had to do more. And I'm sure you have the same feeling. It's such like a rush of adrenaline doing these interviews. You get to talk to the most amazing people. And I feel like everyone that I talk to, I learn something from them, whether it's with regards to acting or presenting or just life or knowledge, just something. There's always something that you can take from someone else, and hopefully something that you can give as well. And yeah, I love doing the celebrity interviews and the presenting. Aside from acting, it's my favorite thing that I do in my life. I love it.
That's good. That's good. And what about Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton? How was the feeling?
Oh my
Being,
goodness.
oh my goodness, I saw the interview. Ooh, fantastic.
That was my all-time favorite interview. Honestly, I was sat there like, be cool. But I was like so excited on the inside because I grew up watching the Terminator films, and they're both like heroes to me. Like Linda Hamilton, I feel, was one of the first really strong female characters. And I remember watching her and thinking, I want to play a strong female character. And then as I grew up, I watched like Lara Croft Tomb Raider and Wonder Woman. And now it's so common to see females in action films. But back then it wasn't. And I feel like she really paved the way for women to be action stars. So it was an honor talking to Linda. And I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, what can I even say? He's a hero of mine. He is an icon. Everything about him I think is amazing. I love that he transitioned from bodybuilding into acting, into politics. What can this man not do? He can do everything. And they have the best chemistry. So I got to interview them together at the same time. And it was so nice, not just being able to talk to them. And I did like a fun game with them. So when I do interviews, I like to ask them questions about the film, but also play like, two truths, one lie, would you rather, who is most likely to, or like movie charades or something, just so you can really see their personality come out. And the nicest thing about that interview was seeing the chemistry between Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton, because you can tell that they are lifelong friends, and just watching them warmed my heart. It was the sweetest thing, and they just loved being in each other's company, and it was such a blessing talking to them. Honestly, that was my favorite interview that I've ever done.
Fantastic. And then, like you said, he as a model, and then an actor, and then politician, and then you interview Al Gore, totally different, totally opposite from entertainment industry. How you feeling about that, having that interview with him?
So I have goosebumps right now. So that was very different for me in a different way, because my background is science. I went to university and studied theoretical physics. And since I was very young, like acting is a passion, science is also a passion, specifically physics. And when I was at university, one of the modules that I was specializing in was to do with climate change. So I'd read Al Gore's book. I knew all about his kind of like what I loved that he was doing is that, again, he was taking his stance as former vice president and using that to raise publicity and raise awareness around global warming. And I remember before I interviewed him, just thinking, you know, how incredible would it be to speak to this gentleman, because he's changing the world, like he's trying to, and he's succeeding, like slowly but surely, and making the world a better place. And you know, changes that he's managed to implement with regards to global warming and climate change could mean that we all live longer, or you know, the Earth survive longer. And I was just like, this is so cool. And then yeah, one day I got an email saying, would you like to interview him? And I think my heart stopped for a second. I thought, this is crazy, because I'd always done like film interviews, you know, actors and directors, and I didn't even read the rest of the email. I just read, would you like to interview Al Gore? There was like 3 paragraphs. I just responded saying, yes, please. Yes, when I'll be there. Do you want me now? I'll come now. And I think it was like 2 days afterwards, and he was so humble and so kind, and he complimented my dress and told me I had nice hair. It was just such a surreal experience, because he's such a notable gentleman and has so much power, but he was so down to earth and so soft spoken, and the way that he spoke to everyone in the room, it just gave me faith in humanity, you know, that someone who's achieved so much, and like former vice president of America, come on, and he's still treating everyone like they're all friends, you know, and just being a genuinely nice person. So that was a really special interview for me, and I think that's one of the moments in my life that I still can't quite believe happened. I don't know what I did to deserve to interview him, but it was an amazing experience.
That's so beautiful. No, yeah, I see. I watched the interview, you know, a lot of things to learn, you know, all the things he does, and that's fantastic. And you have working for over 200 of the world's most notable brands. Just mention just few: Disney, Marvel, Lionsgate, Paramount, Sony Picture, Universal Studios, Warner Brothers, and more and more and more. That's congratulations. That's good. And I'm looking forward. I can see you. You are right here. You're going more up and more up. And one day, and very soon, I interview Amber. I want to say that. I interview Amber. The same way you feel about them, I'm feeling right now with you.
Oh, I would love that. I hope that happens. And if it
Yeah,
does, we'll have to do another interview, and we can remember this moment.
exactly. No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I can feel it that. And thank you so much, Amber, for bringing this too much inspiration. But the last question I ask, but before asking the last question, do you have additional? You want to share additional projects that you're involved? You want to share to your fans?
Yeah, definitely. So we've mentioned some of the past projects that I've worked on. I have quite a lot coming up. So the ones that I'm most excited for is a psychological thriller called The Baby in the Basket. And I play a nun, which is exciting because I've never played a nun before. And the concept of the film is it's a monastery where all of these nuns live, and one night a baby is left in a basket on the front steps of the building. And obviously, all of the nuns are thinking, well, where did this baby come from? But we can't leave him, you know, everyone is a child of God. Let's take this baby in and look after it as if it's our own. And I play Sister Agnes, and she takes the baby in as her own. And within the first few nights, we start to notice a lot of weird things going on. And my character believes that the child is the son of the devil. And I may or may not get possessed. There's a lot that goes on. I think it's going to be my most challenging role that I've ever had to play, because the character has so many layers. She goes through so much. There's lots of twists and turns, and I'm really excited. And the gentleman who wrote this script, called Tom Joliffe, he also wrote another film called Vikings Battle of the Airs, which I played one of the lead roles in, that I filmed last year. So it's such a pleasure to be able to work with him again. I love working with the same people more than once, because you have such great chemistry and a great relationship. Aside from that, I'm working on a Viking film called Dying Breed, which I'm also producing. It's a film about the end of Slavic paganism, and it's the true history of Ukraine, which, with the war going on at the moment, I think it's so important that we do as much as we can to show people, you know, just how much Ukraine's gone through in the past, how it's such a strong country, how incredible the people are. So I'm excited for that one again. And that is one of the best scripts that I've read. And I think it's a really powerful story, which people will enjoy. So those are the two that I'm most excited for, alongside Zombikini as well.
Yes, I'm looking forward for those 3, and looking forward to meet with you in the near future, and you know, speak about after the release and all these things. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that a lot of fans, especially from Mexico, will be looking forward to. I'm pretty sure.
I'll keep my fingers crossed. I
And
hope
worldwide,
so.
and worldwide, because Mexico, I'm sorry, I say what it says. It's the door for Latin America. You hit
Yeah,
in Mexico, you hit all Latin America. So
I've
that's
heard that before.
yes. No. And you will see the lovely loyalty. They are with
Mhm.
fans. We are with our heroes. You're a hero as an actress, doing a beautiful performance for the Winnie the Pooh, and looking and definitely for the rest of the films is the same thing. I watched the Return of the Crumble. Difficult for me to pronounce. Sorry for my English because second language. What was the
Your
name?
English
The
is
Return.
great.
No, sometimes it gets stuck. Sometimes I how can I say that in English?
That was
Can you someone
good.
help me out? Yes, Return of the Campos.
Well, I
Yes.
understand everything you're saying. So, Return of
Okay.
Krampus, yeah.
Yes, that one. Yes. I love it so much, and then Winnie the Pooh, and looking forward for those films, and definitely I will be following your career, and and what can I say? I'm falling in love of you as a person, beautiful soul, and I'm pretty sure
Thank
that
you.
after this interview, I right now feel very proud to say I interview Amber. I interview Amber. I feel
Oh,
very proud. No, no,
honestly, I've had
no.
so much fun talking to you. Like, I feel like we could just talk for hours.
I know. I feel the same. I feel the same, and I appreciate so much, Amber, because a person as you so busy, and your name is mentioned everywhere. Taking your time to be in my show is you made my world. You is priceless. And
Oh,
what
of
can I
course.
say is you made not my day. I say you made my whole year. Thank you so much.
Oh, stop. You're too kind. No, honestly, thank you so much for reaching out. I'd seen, like I said, you'd interviewed other filmmakers that I know that I've worked with, and I saw your interview with Natasha, and I was just like, oh, I love this interview, and you have such a great energy. And I thought, I would love to talk to you. And then obviously we started talking and communicating and arranged this interview, and I was really excited. And I told Natasha, I said, hey, I'm talking to Angela next. So no, honestly, it's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed talking to you, and thank you for having me on the show as well. Honestly, it means a lot.
Thank you so much. But before we finish with interview, I will ask a question I ask to all my guests because the purpose
Yeah.
of this show is to inspire others. What
Mhm.
advice can you share to those people who wants to be in the entertainment industry? And the reason I ask you this because I like to share this to especially teenagers, those people who wants to be in the
Yeah.
film industry. What kind of advice you would like to give to them?
Perfect. So the advice that I would give to people who want to get into the entertainment industry is never give up. Never give up. It's a very, very tough industry, and there are a lot of rejections, especially in acting. Like I would say if you apply for, I don't know, 10 roles, you might get one of them. It is very, very difficult, especially when you're starting out. But if you are passionate about what you're doing and you know that you want to pursue that career, so for me, being an actor, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Follow your heart and be persistent and get as much experience as you can. So I think back in the day, it was really important for people to go to drama school for the full 3 years. Whereas now I think that people are starting to realize that maybe not everyone can afford to go to drama school, and maybe they're not in the right scenario to do that, and it's becoming more acceptable not to have that formal training. So to me personally, when I'm casting a project, I want people that have experience. I don't care if you've been to drama school or not. If you've got a good amount of experience, you know what you're doing, and you're talented, that is key. So I'd say do everything that you can to work on your talent and just try and get as much experience as possible. Because if you can apply for a job or apply for an acting role and you've done something similar in the past, to me, I feel like that's a really, really good starting place because you've got experience doing something already. So I think my key thing is, be persistent, never give up. Don't let anyone tell you that you shouldn't be following your dream, and just if it's meant to be, it will be. So follow those dreams.
No, thank you for saying that. Especially like you said, it's not always necessary to have a formal training as long as you build
No.
your own skills, your persistence. It's like the filmmaker Howard says all the time, do it, do it, do it, and remove all the excuses. Do it. That's
Yep,
the
I
thing.
love that.
So
Just
yes,
do
yes,
it.
just do it. Exactly. Well, thank you
Exactly.
so much, Amber. Thank you so much again, and looking forward
Thank
for more
you.
interviews in the near future. I know you're super busy when you have time because it's hard to find you because you're okay over there.
I know,
Or you
sorry.
make me happy. No, 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 no. But you make me happy because I love to see you in seeing your pictures in the movie over there, over right here, right there. That's beautiful. No, no, no. I don't. I don't feel bad the opposite. I always feel good to see all my guests. They are very active, but especially you having you in my show. What can I say? Priceless. You make my world, and so happy.
Honestly, it was such a pleasure talking to you. Honestly, you have such a nice energy. I've been smiling the whole time. Like, you just make me
Thank
smile.
you.
This is such a fun experience. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, honestly. Everything you said, you're so kind.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.